Today I am going to try to take a little different slant here. And you keep hearing about all these new things, right? A lot of you are using them in your classrooms. And then I think sometimes we sit there and go, okay, now what am I supposed to do with all this new stuff, right? So I thought, well, I need to pick out one little thing that might, new technology that might actually get us thinking in this direction that some people are using there. And I wanted a little, well, I want to get some emotion evoked, so I want to pick something a little controversial, right? And we'll see how this goes. And I don't have audio, and I'm not going to play the video, because I really don't have time anyway. So, I'm going to ask for a show of hands here in a little bit, so here we go. Alright, so we've got a bunch of stuff up here, a bunch of words that may or may not seem relevant to what you or do not do in your classrooms. But the one key thing there, I think most of us teachers are interested in, is learning. And how do we do that? And now with all the technology, is that changing how we do it and what we do in class and all moving forward? So here we go. So students, their environments changing. Maria did a nice thing about how that changed the physical environment. I think the online things are changing other environments as they interact with our content. And, well, I don't know about you, but I'm interested in that as well. How is this different for what I'm going to be doing or and should be doing? And this is not an easy question to answer. So I think this is more of a time to get us thinking, okay? Because I don't think I have the answer yet either. But it's definitely changed it. Alright. So this is Khan Academy. How many of you have heard of Khan Academy? Everybody almost? The people that raise your hand, it's okay. You're not left out of this big party. It's, go to the website, check it out. Brief description is, it's got videos over about everything. Science, math, economics, business. It's got about 2,300 videos at this point, and Sal Khan is the man behind the videos. Bill Gates picked him up with his foundation and implemented some online homework to go with it. It is also free and customizable for every student, a little learning map. Okay? So my goal here is not to show you Khan Academy, but I thought technologies like Khan Academy and YouTube are bringing some delivery methods that are different than the old days when we took math, right? We didn't have the internet when I took math. So, all of a sudden, Khan, or me, or my colleague, or Barbara, or somebody else can be brought into my classroom. Some of you might even use videos from your publishers. Some of you might even, it's like having the world potentially come into your classroom, which scares me a little sometimes because all of a sudden I'm definitely not the best teacher in the room anymore, and much less the one who knows everything. So it's a little disarming as far as it frees me to tell my students that, and they know there's somebody else out there that might actually know something that can be helpful. So here's what I'm bringing this up for. There's been a lot of discussions on our Google groups about this. What is the appropriate use of this? What roles do we use it in? And I'm going to bring up one shift I think these technologies have created. And I personally have done a little of this. I talked to colleagues who have done a little of this. But this is about that homework system that Kate's helped build. It's only in math right now, but I got a feeling it might be growing. But let's get past Khan for a second. And I think this is one thing that Khan and YouTube and that particular technology is starting to allow us to do things like this. Flipped classroom. Now, how many of you do the AMAT webinars? Have done any of those? Okay. I would strongly encourage you to go to the AMAT website and look under events. There's an archive of all the webinars. And I'm referencing the one that Dr. Robert Talbot did about the flipped classroom. So I asked him, hey, can I use that really awesome slide you had about Bloom's taxonomy? So what is a flipped classroom? Pretty much what it's saying is, traditionally, this is what we do in class: comprehension, knowledge, transmission of information, maybe passively or maybe not so passively, organized, consumed, right? What he's suggesting is things like YouTube or other delivery formats can replicate them. Like you're all saying they're very passive right now, right? Just listening, assimilating, categorizing. That's what you're doing. Couldn't you just do that on a video? There's not really any interaction here, is there? And so what he's saying is, when we do have time with students, what should we be doing? And I think this is the cool part about what technology is doing for us personally, for faculty, is the flipped classroom and these other technologies. I'm talking online homework. I'm talking the smart pen. I'm talking online office hours and animations and ebooks and all of that stuff. I think is doing a pretty good job with some of these areas. But look what happens here. When I'm in class with my students, if I'm targeting my instruction here, and then I go do your homework, go do the hard crap now, and where am I? I'm not there, right? I'm not as attainable by them. So what he's suggesting is use their technology to do these. And then, when you're with them, work on the top part of Bloom's taxonomy. You do the hard stuff. Do the heavy cognitive load, as he says it. Instead of the light cognitive load in class, do that heavy cognitive load in class. And what that does is promote very high-quality interactions. I'm not having a high-quality interaction with any of you right now, okay? But if I'm in a flipped classroom and you've already watched this part and you come and you're asking me specific questions, or I actually give you a project to do, or I give you something you can analyze, synthesize, evaluate, all of a sudden, this is heavy cognitive load. I think I need to support my students much more in that area. And I teach developmental math as well, and I think an exciting thing